it's warming up again now that we're getting down into the valley floor. We must have been at some pretty good elevation. I didn't really pay attention to the elevation marker at the top of La Vita. But one of the things that's always been interesting to me are the pass names in Colorado. You've got La Vita here. You've got Cochito over by Saguache. You've got Kenosha dropping down into the north end of South Park. You've got Red Mountain Pass down by Ouray. Wolf Creek Pass by Pagosa Springs. Keebler Pass, I'm not sure where it's at, but anyway, Keebler Pass, and you've got Berthoud Pass, which is up between I-70, like over into Granby, basically between Denver and Granby. And then you've got Loveland Pass, which is where the Eisenhower Tunnel runs over. So you don't really go over Loveland Pass anymore. That's one of the highest passes in the state. It was one of the most dangerous, and it was one of the most impressive too. I remember going over it when I was a kid before I-70 was in there. And in the wintertime, it could be scary going across that, you know, big snowbanks, and it was big old pass. High up, you know, way above the tree line. What are some other passes? Let's see. I lost my list of passes that I was coming up with here. Let's see, where was I at? Cochito, Kenosha, Keebler, that's the K's. Fort Garland, surely they've got diesel here. They do, and look at that. It's not even $5 a gallon if this place is open. $3.89, can that be true? In Colorado? Thank you, God. I can go ahead and fill up here. Under $4 in Colorado. Hallelujah. All right. Pretty freaking awesome this is. I might find my glove. Got a box of them here somewhere. There. Where'd they go? There's one. Need to put a new box of gloves in here. Note to self. Put a new box of gloves in. Okay. Get up here out of the way while I do my book work. It's always interesting to me to talk to people in these stores. You know, just kind of be friendly and chit-chat a little bit. This lady has never drank coffee that's working here. She's got to be close to my age. She said, well, why start now? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess so. I thought that was funny. $9. This is Fort Garland, you may have gathered by now. I know it was Fort something. And I did need fuel. I filled her up. 43.35 gallons, so I didn't have much left on. Well, a little bit more than I thought, but not much. 3.899. Not cheap, but hell of a lot better than $4 a gallon. 169.02. So I bought basically the same amount of fuel in Duncan for $2.89, and it was $40 cheaper, $47 cheaper. It makes a lot of difference to your diesel price. You might not think it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. So I was thrilled to find it this cheap in this area, because I expected it, and being as low as I was, I had to buy it. I couldn't defray buying it any at all. Okay. Rough. Got a traffic jam here, trailer traffic jam. People coming up from Taos with their trailers. These people are all on vacation, no doubt. A Washington State license plate, I would say. I had to. Okay, Guy, I don't know if you're going to go or if I'm going to go. Go ahead and go. Go! Freaking get out of my way, for God's sake. Sit there all damn day playing Mexican standoff. Oh, okay. That's better. Oh, it'd probably be $3.50 down here at Alamosa, but it doesn't matter. I was glad to get it for under $4, so I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Everything I've needed today, I've gotten when I needed it, and that shit doesn't happen by accident, you know. Somebody's watching out for me, and I know who it is. I say that a lot. Somebody's watching out for me. Well, I think God watches over us all. You know, so that's what I mean when I say somebody. Great Sand Dunes National Park. Okay, so we're finally in the San Luis Valley. I mean, all of the other stuff was kind of like a precursor to getting into the valley, but this is actually the valley floor down here. We're finally in the valley, on the valley floor, and it's surrounded by mountains, but it's so hazy today it's hard to see them. There are white cap mountains directly out in front of us off to the left side of the highway. Maybe we'll get a little better view of those. I don't know. I hope so. Otherwise, Wes is going to whip me in the great scenery videos department. Not like he already hasn't. Because he already has. Yeah. Trying to get my GPS is coordinated here. I've never been to this place, so I'm double checking it off of both of them. I looked at the map last night. I think I know where I'm going. Yeah, it's 51 more miles, so less than an hour. I don't have to worry about running slow now. I got plenty of fuel. I'm not going to burn all my fuel between here and there. I've got enough fuel now to get over here, deliver this, and get back out to Colorado entirely, which was the idea. And I'm just tickled that I didn't have to pay for $4 or more for it. It was close enough. I mean, I paid $4.89.9, so that's $4.90 or $3.90 basically, but still better than $4, a little better. I think probably once I get turned around, the scenery will be as good or better coming out, so we'll see. But I wish it wasn't so hazy down here. I wonder if this is like smoke off of wildfires or something, because it's really just kind of dim, hazy looking. I can see the snow-capped peaks over west of us, but I really can't see much of them. I can see the snow kind of shining in the sun up on the very top of them, and I can see the shadow of the sides of them, but I can't see any detail at all. So that's unfortunate. So what is fortunate though is they had coffee there. They had fluffy coffee, not my particular flavor, but I needed something after driving all all morning. I mean, I've been pushing it hard all morning. So this is a nice, welcome thing. Yeah, it's not very good though. That's okay, I just won't drink much of it. Drink a little of it. Blanca, Colorado. Out in here between here and Alamosa, between Blanca and Alamosa, back in the 60s, somebody set that up as a subdivision out in there. It's just out in the sagebrush. There's nothing out there. It's just flat sagebrush country. And they put up, we thought it was so funny because they put up street signs out in this, basically a field of sagebrush, and they were selling lots to people mail order back east. And I don't know if they'd like send them a picture of the street sign and say your lot is in here or what. But there was a lot of that going on. I don't know if it was like for real up front they were actually selling the land or if it was a scammy thing. I don't know. But I remember that, and that was in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. But it's funny. It still cracks me up a little bit. Alamos is 16 miles. Okay. Monte Vista 38. So this is 10 miles beyond Monte Vista, of course. You know, that's 10 miles I'm probably not going to get paid for. Because they just pay me point to point usually. Look it up on Google Maps and then pay me for the mileage. That's still better than a lot of truckers get paid. A lot of truckers get paid zip code to zip code, which really screws people over because you can lose, $20, $30 in a zip code, if you're the wrong side of the zip code or whatever. So these guys don't play those games anyway. But I don't know, they might have looked up the address, who knows? Maybe they did. They're usually pretty good about it. But a lot of times, like when I went to Montana, and like when I went to North Carolina the last time, and various different places I go to deliver stuff, they'll give me one address on paper, and then I'll get there and they'll want it delivered to a different address 10 or 15 or 20 miles away. And what do? I just deliver it. Sometimes people are thankful that you do it, sometimes they're just kind of like, well, it's your job. Well, it's my job to deliver it to the address on the invoice. It's not necessarily my job to deliver it any farther than that. But, I try to work with people. But this one, we actually had the address. He gave me an incorrect address on it. But I figured it out, so. He would have just had me a mile farther east. Because he flubbed one of the numbers in the address. So it wouldn't have been a big deal. I'd have figured it out, I'm sure. Maybe. But I also had the invoice from the trailer place to work by, too, with the actual real address on it, so that helps. So this is flat as a pancake in this valley, and the west or north end of this valley is where the artesian wells were at when I was a kid. And the artesian wells back in the 60s and 70s, early 70s, they started kind of capping them off after that, I think. But they used to just let them flow. They'd open them up and just let them flow, and it would shoot a column of water up into the air. It was pretty dramatic looking. Maybe it was 4 or 5 feet, maybe it was 6 or 10 feet, but there was just water bubbling up out of the earth all over this valley floor. It was really cool. It was really neat. I don't know if we'll see that today. I don't know that. I think they probably capped them all. I don't know that they let them run. Although they may go ahead and do that if they're irrigating. They may still do that if they're actually, just pumping it up or letting it come up and then putting it straight into an irrigation ditch on the south side of some watch, but I'm not 100% on that. But it was just a nice little cafe, and we used to stop in there and get a piece of pie and glass milk, and Mom and Dad would drink coffee. And we stopped in there a lot when we traveled. It was inexpensive. The pies were homemade. They weren't like fake pies you buy now. Pie you buy now is not real pie, by the way, just in case you don't know it. If you never like had real pie, you need to go find somebody who makes homemade pie drugstore they got. It's kind of a common thing in these smaller towns in Colorado. Craig's got one in the city market. It used to be in the Safeway until the Safeway decided to shut down and go away, which they did after Walmart came in with their grocery store. So now there's only 2 grocery stores. There's only ever been 2 grocery stores in Craig. There was Safeway and City Market. Then Walmart came in, Safeway left, so they still have 2 grocery stores. They've got Walmart and City Market. The City Market actually got the Starbucks that Safeway gave up, evidently, which is really nice because Craig is a long way from anywhere. The nearest Starbucks to Craig used to be Steamboat Springs, and it's 47 miles, I think. It's clear out on the east side of Steamboat. So it's very hard to find a Starbucks there. But I had an interesting experience at Starbucks in Craig when I was in uniform working one day. I went in to get my coffee. I was on a coffee break, and I'm walking in, and I look, and there stands Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy. And here I am, all in uniform. I mean, and he was a little bitty guy. I'm a pretty big lady, I'm 6 feet tall, and in all my gear and stuff, I look pretty big, pretty imposing, I would say, because I had big boots on, So I was probably like 6'1" or 6'2" in my uniform, boots and all that. Then, of course, the vest and all the gun gear and all that. So here I am, and he's just this little bitty guy, but his face is really like long, and I'm thinking that must be a thing for people on TV. Maybe you have to have a bigger face to be on TV. I don't know, but I wasn't trying to think mean about it. It didn't look weird or anything. It was just proportioned differently, So I got tickled, so I couldn't even talk to him because I was kind of tickled about that. So I just went ahead and walked by and left him alone. I didn't give him any trouble or say anything to him or interrupt him because he looked like he was enjoying a break from. And I knew he had been in town working on something like castrating sheep or something. So I just was like, I'm not going to bug him. I'll leave him alone. So I walked by, but I've often wondered if he noticed me walk by and what he thought of this great big lady cop in this little bitty town coming in to get her Starbucks. That seemed to be the one thing we probably had in common, was stopping and getting a Starbucks. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. But, one of the perks of being a cop in a lot of places, if you're high up enough on the ladder, is getting to meet famous people. Well, I was never high up enough on the ladder to meet anybody. I mean, I would go work concerts and stuff, and I never met anybody. A lot of the time, there would be somebody I'd be interested in meeting, and I still wouldn't get to meet them because the people in charge didn't give a crap that I wanted to meet them or whatever. I wasn't important enough, like some of the other officers, who are more the golden children. I was never like the golden girl. I was never a golden child as a cop in my department. It's not like I was, mistreated or anything. I just wasn't one of those kind of people. I'm still not one of those kind of people. Not that you notice, right? I'm not like a suck up, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it in a nice way, but I think that's the only way to do it. I'm not a suck up. So I didn't get preferential treatment on stuff like the suck ups did. We had a couple of them. And so I never really got to meet anybody. That was probably the closest I came to meeting somebody famous from my generation, because he's of my generation. The one person I got to meet 2 people when I worked at security at the Steamboat Springs Airport, just in passing, not like stopping and talking to him very long. I did actually get to meet and talk to Art Linkletter and had him sign an autograph for my mom because she really liked him. And if you're not old enough to remember Art Linkletter, don't worry about it. He was an old guy from TV. But my mom really liked him, so I stopped and visited with him. He was a very nice little guy, really sweet. And then I also met General Schwarzkopf, when he came back from Desert Storm. And that was, I was impressed with him. He was an impressive figure of a man. You could tell he had a command presence, and that was why he was so respected and so, beloved by his troops. And he really was. People really liked him. Had a lot of respect for him. He had that MacArthur-ish presence, He's a tough man, and everybody knew he was a tough man. And he was one of those guys you could be pretty sure he wasn't going to send you out to do anything he wouldn't do himself or hadn't already done himself, multiple times or whatever. So that was kind of interesting. But aside from that, the only other person I really got that close to was Mike Rowe, but I don't know. I just didn't talk to him. I didn't want to bother him. I figured probably everybody and their dog been running going, oh, Mike Rowe, whoa, whoa. He looked tired and he looked miserable. He looked like he needed his coffee and needed a break, so I just left him the hell alone. But, sometimes that's the nicest thing you can do for somebody is just leave them alone, let them be off stage for a little while and just relax, not be badgered, and so that's what I did anyway. I kind of regret not saying hi to him, but then again, like I say, I didn't really want to bug him. What do you do? I don't know. I have no idea. So this trailer in front of me is interesting to me because that's an R-Pod. We were talking to some people the other day, and they were talking about getting a little R-Pod trailer, and I had no idea what that was, but now I see. I get it. It's a little itty-bitty trailer. That's kind of cool. Little trailers are actually more fun to travel with than the great big ones. The great big ones have all the bells and whistles and all the conveniences, but they're a pain in the ass to haul. It costs a fortune in fuel to haul them. It takes forever to get them set up, get them leveled and all that. You get a little trailer like this, or like ours, like that little Shasta, it just simplifies things so much. It makes it so much easier. It's pretty awesome. So this is Alamosa, Colorado, that we're in downtown Alamosa. I'm glad I came this way because I want to show you downtown Alamosa, Colorado. This is kind of a touristy spot. It always, when I was a kid, it was always a farming town. It wasn't a tourist town, but it looks like it's gone touristy. Like most of Colorado now that it's been, now it's been invaded and conquered by the Californians, pretty much. There's a lot of stuff here you would have never seen in Alamosa in the 60s or 70s, I guarantee you. Tattoo parlors being among them. That it was just a nice farming town, farming and ranching town, like most of the towns in rural Colorado. But evidently it's grown, which is good for Alamosa, I guess. Good for their economy here. It's like they got plenty of yuppieism going on, I would say. Thai sushi, okay. That's something that people clamor for in rural Colorado. Thai sushi. I'm sure of it. I got 24 miles more to go, so you only got 24 miles more of this stuff to put up with. I'll do a separate video for coming back out. Look at that. There's a drive-through Starbucks. I'll be able to come back in here and get my Starbucks. And fuel is $3.65 here, so I paid 20 cents more than I needed to for 40 gallons. So that's $8 more. So I paid $8 more than I needed to pay, but that's okay, because I didn't run out of fuel. And I didn't have to continue being worried about running out of fuel. Yeah, something like that. $3.69. I figured. I can live with it. Whoa, guy. A little warning would be nice. really my flavor of choice. I still got 24 miles to go. I gotta get over to Monte Vista, which is, what, 17? Swatch is only 52 from here. So we're going pretty far up the valley. Swatch is pretty much at the west or north end, or northwest end, whatever, however you want to say it. It's probably more like the west end of the valley. And I don't know if you're seeing these mountains, but there are mountains over to our left. Not real far left. No, I don't even know if you can see them right now. There's no big snow-capped mountains. Maybe you'll see more coming back when I've got the camera pointed the other way. We'll find out. But I'll separate these videos out. I'll have one incoming and then one outgoing. So you don't have to sit through the whole one to see the next one or whatever. You pick or choose if you want to see it coming in this way or going out the other way. I think we'll take County Road 3 because that pretty much dumps us out right where we need to be. So County Road 100, no. County Road 3 east, yes. We'll do that. Because we're going up to 8 north, I think. Ooh, nice road. This is the best road I've been on in 2 days. I kid you not. This is brand new, smooth as butter. Nice road. Oh la la. Awesome road. If all roads were like this, I'd be a happy driver. I can tell you. Nice, wide, good shoulders, smooth surface. Not having to dodge potholes. This is great. This is wonderful. I don't expect it to last very long, but this is really nice while it does last. So I'm definitely staying on here until I get up here to this other county road. That means I'd run on this one longer. 5.8 miles. Now I'm pretty sure that what you're seeing up in front of us is the mountain range that Monarch Pass crosses. And I think up on the right side of that is probably where Monarch Pass goes over. That's the pass that Wes went over the other day on his last video. Last one I watched anyway. Before I left on this excursion. Because that borders that edge of the San Luis Valley, where we used to drop down in it at Swatch. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Whatever range that is, I don't know if that's like the south end of the Collegiate Range. It might be that Monarch Pass crosses, like in there south of St. Elmo or something. I don't remember all of those peaks exactly, but somewhere in there, South Mantero, somewhere in there. So that's another place where the 14ers are all up back in there. Big mountains. We're in the biggest mountain part of the state right in this vicinity. Within like 50, 60 miles of here, all the biggest mountains, I think. Maybe 70 miles. But they're all in this zone. Man, this road is really nice. This is a sweet highway. Sweet highway. Only goes 3.7 more miles. I could turn here, but I'm not going to. I would stay on this sweet highway. Another 3.7 miles. Just because I can. It's just so nice. I'm enjoying it. There's nothing not to like about this road. I mean, it's just wonderful. If all roads were like this, oh my gosh. We'd all be a lot less tense drivers. And our vehicles would be in better shape because they wouldn't be falling in potholes all the time. Busting stuff. Look, I've still got wrinkles filled up little mulberries on the back of my truck that fell on it the other day. I forgot to sweep them off of there. Oh boy. That's going to look professional, isn't it? Hello, I'm here with your trailer and some 6-day-old mulberries. Would you like to try one? Oh boy. Yeah. Alright, 2.5 miles. Good. My GPS is in sync with me. It's actually syncing up. So 2.4 more miles. And then I got another 10 miles to go up this county road. About it. Alright. Supposedly here, near to here somewhere. I thought it was on the south side of the road up here. And it may well be. Or maybe it's here. I don't know. Where the hell is it? Where's this place? There's not a freaking address out here. Okay, there it is. Alright, there's the address. Good. So I don't know if there's anybody here to sign for me. But I'm gonna take it in here. Ah, there's somebody out here. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to go find out who's going to sign for this. So I shall return when I have that information. Find my paperwork. Hang it. Crap. Oh my goodness. Stop that. Alright, so this is pretty easy. They just want it backed in over here. He changed his mind on where he wanted it. had to work for that. Okay, so delivery is completed. I'm going to stop this video here and start the new one. So thanks for riding along. When I catch my breath, I'll try and get some of these mountains on the way out. It looks like the mist is lifting, so maybe we'll get better scenery. Thank you guys for riding along.